Greetings everyone, this is Caedo. In this video series I will be covering the quest for Daedric artifacts. If you find yourself wandering the tundra, trying to find that one Daedric artifact, you find yourself wandering around aimlessly instead of just playing and enjoying the game. So allow me to help you out. In this video I will be covering the Black Star, Ill Met by Moonlight, and the House of Horrors. That's for Azura, Hircine, and Molag Bal. If you have not gotten the artifacts from those quests, well, you're in the right place. Alright, first quest up is the Black Star. Now you can get the pointer quest relatively early in the game. If you go to Winterhold, especially if you're a magic character, you usually do, you can talk to the innkeeper, ask about rumors, and bam, he will show you where Azura's shrine is. Or you can run into a pilgrim who happens to be wandering around the roads. I don't know his exact path, but you'll run into him and he'll be like, hey, I'm going to the shrine of Azura. Here's the location. Regardless of how you find out about the quest, you can still start it as soon as you arrive at Azura's shrine. Azura's shrine is pretty hard to miss. You can actually see it from Winterhold if you have your current patches updated. Go southeast of Winterhold, and once you hit Whistling Mine, take the path that goes up the mountain to your right, and you'll get a direct path to the shrine. Once you get to the top, you talk to Aranea Lenith, who is the follower of Azura. To put things into perspective, Aranea was given the gift of foresight by Azura, with which she has foreseen the Dragonborn becoming Azura's champion, which is kind of cool. I don't know what kind of paradox it would cause if we didn't do the quest, so we're going to go ahead and do the quest. She then gives you a cryptic message, starting off with, you must go to a fortress endangered by water yet untouched by it, and you will find an elven mage who can turn the brightest star black as night. My first guess for this cryptic message would be Winterhold. Aranea's first guess is too, so go ahead and go to Winterhold and go into the inn. Walk up to the innkeeper and ask him whether or not he knows about an elf who studies the stars. He'll direct you to the room to your right, and you will meet Nelacar. When you start dialogue with him, ask him if he studies the stars. He'll reply with, who sent you? It'll ask you for a speech check, and then after you bypass that, he will ask you what you know about soul gems. Doesn't really matter what you say on this part. Soul gems are a one-time use deal, except for one, which is Azura's star. He then talks about Malyn Varen, a mage that he worked under at the Mages College. Malyn had found Azura's star. He and his colleagues were running tests on it. After a while, Malyn had become very ill, and Malyn became obsessed with storing his own soul inside of Azura's star for some form of immortality. After Nelacar tells you a little bit about that, Nelacar states that all Daedra are inherently evil. So here's the option. You can either come back to him once you get the star, and have it restored to what Malyn was trying to do with it, or you can go back to Azura's shrine and have it put back together by her. This will also determine your quest reward. Nelacar will then point you towards Ilinalta's Deep. This tower is more along the lines of what the cryptic message was talking about. Once you make your way inside a little ways, you'll find two necromancers talking about the need of more souls for their master. And their master is, you guessed it, Malyn Varen. This is not a how to slay necromancers properly video, so I'm not going to give you a full guide throughout the tower. It's a pretty linear layout anyways. So I'm going to skip right to the top of the tower with Malyn Varen. Once you find Malyn Varen, or should I say his skeleton holding the Black Star, you pretty much find out that he was successful in his experiment one way or another. Here's where you make your choice. Either go back to Nelacar to get the Black Star, or you go back to Azura's shrine to get Azura's star and a follower. So you find out Malyn Varen's soul is still inside the Black Star. And how this plays out on either side is pretty much the same. Both Nelacar and Azura will send you into the star to cleanse it before it can be repaired. Once you're inside the star, it's a pretty cool looking place, but I don't see the point of spending your immortal life trapped in a giant crystalline structure with nothing but 3 Dremora to hang out with. They're not fun. You fight the 3 Dremora on your way down to the center of the crystal, where you encounter Malyn Varen himself. Not too difficult. And depending on whose side you're on, the crystal in the center either glows or has a black aura around it. Upon completion on Azura's side, you will get Azura's star, which will capture white souls, no humans, and you will also get Aranea as a potential party member. And there's her skills. High destruction, always good. If you took Nelacar's side on this quest, you will get the Black Star. This can capture souls from any man or mer you may encounter. You can even test it out on Nelacar if you really want to. This is your first artifact. It's a good one to start with. Now we're going to move on to Hircine's quest. Ah, Falkreath. a town known for having the biggest cemetery in Skyrim. This is where Ilmet by Moonlight starts. Now, if it's your first time in Falkreath, you'll be stopped by one of the gate guards and asked if you've seen a dog. That is a different Daedric quest. I'm not covering that in this video, but of course I will be covering it at a later time. Since Falkreath is known for its cemetery, go ahead and head over there. You'll find the priest of Arche hosting a funeral for two parents who had recently lost their daughter. If you talk to Matthews after the little ceremony, he'll tell you that they had recently hired a laborer who ended up murdering their daughter. But what else would you expect in Falkreath? It's a depressing town. So Matthews directs you towards Sinding. He is in the guard barracks in the jail, and when I first met the guy, he wasn't really what I expected. His cell's on the left in the back. You start dialogue with him, and you're immediately met by Come to Gawk at the Monster. He blames a ring that he had stolen from a Daedric prince. He had stolen it from Hircine. Now I'm going to say the moral of the story right now. Don't cross a Daedric prince unprepared. Next you find out he's a werewolf. Being Hircine put a curse on the ring, he has uncontrollable transformations into beast form. At the worst possible times, no less. You can then offer to take the ring off of his hands. Since Sinding wants nothing to do with the ring whatsoever, he requests that you go and summon Hircine yourself and return it to him. In the forest nearby, there is a white stag. It's like most other wildlife, so it wanders a lot, but it's somewhere in the vicinity of Falkreath. Also, it's not really much of a hunt because you do have a map marker that shows you where it is. He then thanks you for doing him this favor. After this depressing conversation ends, he walks to the back of the cell, transforms, and escapes. Now, if you had taken the ring and had already become a werewolf before, you will change randomly. If you're not a lycanthrope, you will not change randomly, but you will have a ring slot taken up until you finish the quest. Okay, this large white stag is like any other deer or elk. It will prance away if you get too close, so you can either catch up to it to kill it if you startle it, or you can take it out from a distance. Once you kill said white stag, the aspect of Hircine will appear to you. Hircine recognizes that you're wearing his ring, and that the one who stole it has fled to what he thinks is his sanctuary. That would be Bloated Man's Grotto. So Hircine employs you to go down and hunt this beast, to skin him and present his hide as an offering. He also gives you a sense of urgency because there's already other hunters on that hunt. Bloated Man's Grotto is just northwest of Ilinalta's Deep, the sunken fort that we went to in Azura's quest. It's directly over the mountains, but you do not have to go around. There's actually a small path to the northwest that'll allow you to go almost directly to Bloated Man's Grotto without too much hassle. Make your way inside and your first encounter will be dead or dying hunters. The dying Khajiit hunter, Jakir, slumped on a rock, gives you the option of asking what happened. Talked about the prey being strong. Yeah, it's a werewolf. Well, you should have brought silver weapons, huh? Anyways, you end dialogue and he dies. You continue along the only available path, and you run into Sinding, who's got a cool pose up on a cliff with the moon in the background. Now, I didn't know werewolves could talk normally, but apparently he can. You tell him he deserves to die, and he responds with,
Deserve it, wouldn't I? I can't stop you if that's what you want to do. Cursing is too powerful. But if you spare me, a powerful ally to you, then I would promise to never return to civilized life.
This is another Daedric quest with options. You can help him kill all the hunters and get the uncursed ring of Hircine, which allows multiple transformations a day if you're a werewolf, or you can kill him and get the Savior's Hide, which gives you magic resistance. If you choose to help him or kill him, he will react in a violent fashion towards any hunter that he encounters. Me personally, I usually helped him out because it was fun watching him wreck all their faces. Your choice, really. If you decide to kill him and tear the skin off of his body, the aspect of Hircine appears to you again, this time in the form of Sinding, stating that you found his favor. He then gives you the Savior's Hide. Now, I'm big on the visual appeal of things, and the Savior's Hide has no leggings, so you got kind of a Tarzan thing going on when you're wearing it. If you wear light armor and you like magic resistance, it's a good suit to have. Taking the objective of helping Sinding instead of hunting him down, you really don't need to help him throughout the whole thing. Along with the promise of never returning to civilized life, he plans on staying here. As soon as you leave Bloated Man's Grotto, you are contacted by Hircine again. You can tell him that you failed him, or straight up refuse to become his pawn. Regardless of what you respond with, he still gives you the uncursed ring of Hircine. Alright, so if you're following this video, you now have 2 artifacts. Congratulations. Moving on. For the next Daedric artifact, we'll be heading to the ancient city of Markarth. Now, Molag Bal is a downright nasty Daedric prince. He is the lord of domination and enslavement of mortals. So on the main dragon, Markarth, after the general store. On your right, you'll find an abandoned residence. Now, the start for it probably won't happen the first time you enter Markarth, so go to the inn or some store really quick, and then come back out, and there should be 2 individuals standing outside of the house. One of them is a Vigilant of Stendarr, who's asking one of the townspeople if anybody has entered or left that house, and the guy doesn't know. He then turns to you and asks you the same thing, and then if you would like to join him in investigating. So go ahead and follow him inside, after saving, of course. He'll make a comment about everything seeming like somebody does live there, but since nobody's come out, it's kind of weird, right? Upon investigating further, Tyrannus suggests that there's more to this than just a ghost, at which point things start moving around on their own. When you get to the bottom, you're obstructed by a locked door. Don't eat that round of cheese, by the way. Then you hear Molag Bal's voice, the lights start flickering, so you run all the way back up to the entrance, and you find that's locked too. Molag Bal commands in an ominous tone, one of you needs to die. The Vigilance of Stendarr, I appreciate all of what they do, but they could not be weaker. Why they have any hope of taking down a Daedric Lord, I don't understand. But anyways, moving on. So you kill Vigilant Tyrannus, your new friend, now dead. Such times you had together. And you make your way back down to the door that was once locked. Continue further, and you happen upon a shrine with a rusty mace on it. Now, a lot of us have the ooh shiny factor, and we will automatically go to grab things that are set on pedestals or altars or whatever. So once you go to grab it, you get trapped by Molag Bal himself. Now, he belittles you a little bit for a while, and how his rival Boethia had one of her priests come over and desecrate his altar. So now his powers were limited to this building. So to make his mace like new, he says that you have to go find this priest of Boethia, who happened to have been captured by Forsworn, bring him back, and then beat him to submission. So when he releases you from this cage, there is 6 possible places that this priest can be. Pretty much all Forsworn camps labeled with the Redoubt suffix. Red Eagle, Broken Tower, Brooke's Leap, Drudok, Deep Wood, and Hag Rock. Each of these are different in how they are played out and navigated. I myself got Red Eagle Redoubt, so it was a pretty annoying ordeal going through the caves and then going up to the camp. But I also got to do the Red Eagle quest at the same time, so all good. Once you find the Priest of Boethia, you'll get a speech check to free him. Make sure everything behind you is cleared by the time you free him, because he will go back to Markarth on his own. Make your way back to Markarth, go into the house, once again, go all the way down to the altar of Molag Bal. After he reaches the altar, and Molag Bal says his piece, Logrolf will realize how gullible he was. Molag Bal then hands you the mace, and tells you to proceed to beat him with it until he submits. You actually end up killing him once, and then him being resurrected by Molag Bal just to, beat him senseless again. Now, it's kind of a pain to reach in between those bars and beat him. It'd probably be a little better if you have good one-handed skill, so it takes you way less hits than it took me. But once he finally submits to Molag Bal tells you to end it, and then ultimately gives you his mace. Now, this mace is your ideal mage-slaying weapon. It damages stamina, magicka, and also will soul trap, working hand in hand with either Azura's Star or the Black Star. That's 3 quests down. That's all for this episode. I hope by now you guys are feeling a sense of accomplishment, as you now have 3 artifacts. If you guys found this video useful or a good source of entertainment, comment, like, subscribe. If you do have constructive criticism, please let me hear it. If you leave a good comment or question, I'll probably end up putting it in my next video. Good luck on your future questing in Skyrim. See you guys in episode 2.